Do we know what we're doing? No. Are we going to do it anyway? Yes. This is First Time Energy. Welcome back to First Time Energy, the podcast where we talk about first time experiences, awkward moments, and the internal panic that somehow builds character. Today's episode is for the sports people, the people who scream, "Where'd our defense go? I could do better than that." Like they personally work in the front office. So, the people who say it's a rebuilding year every single year. The people emotionally attached to men they've never met because they wear the correct color jersey. And honestly, NFL fandom is one of the most unhinged first time experiences available probably to the human race because 1 minute you're casually watching football and the next you're checking mock drafts in February, arguing with strangers online, pretending you understand salary caps, and you're letting a 24-year-old quarterback affect your emotional stability. So obviously, I had to bring in a very special guest for this one, Shaun, my husband. Today, we're talking about the first-time energy of NFL fandom, attending your first football game, the obsession, the heartbreak, the rituals, the overreactions, and why sports somehow convinces grown-ups to publicly lose their minds every Sunday. So whether you're a diehard fan or just here because your spouse yells at the TV with concerning intensity, welcome. Shaun, thank you for joining me.
Yeah, is this where they insert the da-na-na, da-na-na? It feels right for this moment, right?
Does it?
No, I don't know. Yeah, it's kickoff to football season. I mean, you got to have
Uh,
the.
no, I think that's like the ESPN update. What you're looking for is the whole tune, that whole like da 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 da. No, that's a different song. That's the Final Countdown. What you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, whatever. Okay. Well, that's my singing chops for now. I really appreciate you coming on to this. This podcast has been a labor of love over the course of the last few weeks that I have been putting this together. And I don't know what will make the cut and what won't make the cut. But you are, in fact, this is not your first time on a podcast. But anyway, let's get into the first time check. So, Shaun, have you ever been on a podcast before?
Yeah, I've been on First Time Energy a couple times.
This may or may not be a re record. We had some technical difficulties that really portrayed Shaun in it more of a Lord Farquaad-esque role. So I felt that it would be appropriate as the real first introduction to Shaun as a guest to have him be at the same height I am sitting at, if you will. So thank you again for coming back. I appreciate it. You really didn't have to change your shirt.
What? I mean, I had to wear the Lions shirt. I can't not wear the Lions shirt on an NFL sports podcast. Got to be the Lions. You got
You
the
could.
Dolphin
It would
shirt
be
on.
well, but see, you would have been being supportive of my interests and my podcast by not wearing guaranteed
No.
Lions. We, again, just in the spirit of transparency, we are coming off of having recorded another episode even today, but we have switched from water. I'm drinking beer. I don't know what you're drinking.
Beer as well.
I glass. Oh, you don't have a Lions glass. That's too bad.
Yeah, no, that's because my team is too popular. The glasses weren't couldn't keep them in stock, so I got stuck with the glass. I think everybody in the family got their team. Even our neighbors. I think you were able to find Packers for Ethan
So I
and
would like to
Steelers
argue
for
that point
Cheyenne.
for just one moment. Now, your argument is they're so popular they couldn't keep them in stock.
Yeah, that's
It
why.
could, hear me out, it could be that they didn't sell, so therefore they didn't stock them.
I mean, that maybe would have been valid like
Burn.
3 years ago, but we're like move over Cowboys. We're America's team now, so our stuff is just
Okay.
gone.
Okay. Well, I always like to start with an origin story. And I'm going to ask you this in just a second as well, but I will take the time to just kind of explain how I became a Miami Dolphins fan. I was going to say proud to be a Miami Dolphins fan, and I almost choked on my words. So let me just back up a step here. So I'm from Ohio. Those of you listening from across the country, you think that you might take up interest in teams around you. But my mom went to high school with Chris Carter, who then went on and was drafted and played for the Minnesota Vikings. So I was told for a very long time we were fans of Chris Carter, and that worked out well because one, I didn't give a shit about football. I was too young to care. And my mom met my now dad, who is a Chicago Bears fan. And it was very important that we became a football family and that we were exposed to football. I am stubborn enough that I could not let go of the fact that we were Chris Carter fans, therefore Minnesota Vikings fans. I liked a boy. Shout out to the boy in 6th grade who I had a crush on, was a fan of the now defunct Washington Redskins. Why are you
Mm.
laughing?
Shout out to a boy from 6th grade.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll listen to this. It'll be fine. And he'll know
Yeah.
because there's not
Oh,
that many Redskins fans out there, let's be real. So, but that was what I really just even gave an inkling of attention to football. And around the same time as a 13-year-old impressionable adolescent girl, I also very much found out I love the animals, dolphins,
mm,
very, very much. And like every adolescent girl growing up in the late 90s, I wanted to be a marine biologist. And so when Chris Carter gets traded to the Miami Dolphins, I take this time to say, I'm a Chris Carter fan. Dolphins are my favorite animal. Therefore, I am now a Miami Dolphins fan. I had absolutely zero idea what I was signing up for as a long term fan. I'm going to be very honest with you. So that's my origin story. So tell me yours. How did you become a Lions fan?
very similar story actually. I've always been like a follower of right. So I really got on the train when I was younger. It was Barry Sanders, and some of the stuff that he was able to do on the field was just phenomenal. So really enjoyed watching him. That's kind of what sparked my like interest in the Lions. After that, Calvin Johnson came along, and again, just a fantastic like athlete, and his the things he could do, just it's total entertainment, right? So I think that's kind of what sparked that. And then I just kind of stuck with them. Like, similar to you, there's ups and downs, right? Mostly downs for both of our teams, unfortunately. But um, yeah, I mean, it's those things where I just kind of
The
started
only reason
blue, and that
the
is
only
kind of
reason
here
I'm
I am.
not going to strike that from the record is because you understand the pain.
Yeah. Oh, I understand the pain. Absolutely.
I think one of the things that's been interesting is, like I said, I really didn't have a ton of I had the exposure to football, but I just really didn't care. And over the course of my adult life now, I have had more experience fantasy football. I care about that, but I don't care about that. Uh, Sorry, I just got distracted. I'm gonna end up striking this. There was a turkey walking through the bocce ball court in the backyard, and I thought maybe it was that groundhog that we, despise so much. So anyway,
I was pretty impressed. I just want to throw out there, I was pretty impressed at the beginning that you talked about salary caps, and like that was impressive. Like you're on your game with this like I love it. The salary caps and the fantasy football. I'm digging it.
let's dive into the fantasy football here for just a second. And I know we've talked about our affiliations and what we care about, but when they say house divided, I don't know that you get more divided than our household.
Definitely
So
not.
we have a Lions fan, a Dolphins fan, obviously the two most important. The next most important in line would be our son. He likes the Minnesota Vikings.
Yep.
The next important in line would be our currently 4-year-old, almost 5-year-old, who is a Raiders fan.
Hmm.
And following up at the very end is our almost 12-year-old as the Philadelphia Eagles fan.
I
How
want
do
to. I mean, I want to throw out there that I feel like I could have converted Esme, but I always got in trouble for saying you would look good in Honolulu blue. Every time I said Honolulu blue, you'd be like, "Stop saying that." I think I could have
I
had her on the
mean,
Lions, but
this is not a brag by any means. Like, I'm almost embarrassed to say this out loud. You specifically said you thought she looked like Tua, and we should dress her up as Tua for Halloween in a Dolphins onesie.
we did dress her up, and she did look like Tua. She had this like curl, this like Tua curl thing going on. We got the photo to prove it. Yeah. Sorry, I don't even remember what you asked. What was she going?
Well, you said you thought you could have converted her.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and I think that it is important to organically let kids decide where their affiliations
Hmm.
lie. I mean, they have
It's fair.
every choice to be like, "Oh, my family likes the Dolphins. Oh, my family likes the Lions. Let me pick one of those."
Yeah, who would have known that our then probably 2 or 3-year-old picked up the Raiders from watching me play Madden football on PS5.
I mean,
That was
she
her
has
thing.
a Raiders personality.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. She fits the
It
fandom
fits.
100%.
It
Yeah.
fits. She will take you out at the knees. Yeah. Anyway, that's an old school type of play. They don't allow that stuff anymore. I was just asking how you feel about the house divided.
I mean, there's part of me that loves it, and there's part of me that really wishes that we had a kid that was into the same team, or like our family was all into the same team, so we could all like come together and watch the game and really all cheer for the same team. You know what I mean? I feel like it's kind of a double-edged sword. I do love that everybody has their own thing, and I do, to your point, feel like everybody's personality kind of fits their teams in some different ways. So it's kind of interesting to see, but yeah, I miss that like family bonding of everybody
I'm
being,
not
you
gonna
know,
lie. I would love to not have to split the screen.
it's true. The players get pretty tiny when
We're watching games that are like this big.
right.
That would be nice. However, anyway,
I do I do also love the competition though too, like the flags that we've got. We've got the flags. Yeah.
for those who don't know, which is probably most who are listening to this, we do really lean into the fact that we have differences and we're all really competitive. Like if there's nothing else to be said about us, we're all pretty competitive. So we have started a family tradition. Everyone has a flag and we utilize fantasy football as the deciding factor of who gets to put their flag out for the week every week during football season. And your real team, so Shaun, who's your quarterback?
Jared
Goff?
Goff.
Okay, sorry, I couldn't remember what had happened around. Actually, I don't care enough about your team to keep track of it. Um,
Who's your
so
quarterback at?
I don't know, not Tua. If they put Tua in, there's got to be a pun I can use, like play on words that I don't know, Tua quitting. I don't know. I'm gonna figure it out. I know it's a whole thing. I do miss Mike McDaniel. We're getting off subject, but anyway, we utilize the team's real quarterback, but their fantasy points scored. And this is really frustrating, to be honest with you, because some quarterbacks make amazing fantasy football quarterbacks, and some
Jalen Hurts.
quarterbacks, well, you can't argue that Ophelia was very smart to choose that
I
team if
know.
her goal was
She
just
was.
putting her flag out.
She was.
She doesn't care about football. So, I mean, good on her for like she one-upped us all. But if your real team quarterback scores the most fantasy football points through the week, that is how we determine who gets to put up their flag. And we've never had a tie because the way points are scored is in a decimal format. So there's always really been a true winner. It has become a fun family tradition, and I'm actually surprised how many people have said that they watch those and enjoy them. So I think that we'll probably start that again this next season. But that actually brings me to the point of why we're talking about NFL and why I brought you on to this podcast at this time. And it's because the 2026 football schedule is almost released. We know the teams we're playing, we just don't know when. So I would love to talk about a first-time experience you and I both shared together, and that is our first NFL game. You bought the tickets.
I did. I did buy the tickets.
Walk me through this. Walk me through this.
Yeah, I mean, so
You buy tickets.
I buy tickets. Uh I bought tickets to, so it was Dolphins, Packers, Thanksgiving Day. So I know that you're a huge Dolphins fan. It was for our anniversary. I really wanted it to
Do
be an
you know
experience.
that I host and cook Thanksgiving dinner?
I do. So I felt pretty secretive about asking you. Like she's not gonna know what's going. So I asked you. Hey, do we have any plans on Thanksgiving Day? You know, I guess I didn't give you enough credit that you're smart enough to figure it out because obviously you smelled what was happening when I asked that question. But um,
Because the only thing that happens on Thanksgiving Day are people cook,
mhm.
parades, and football, and turkey trots, which I don't participate in.
Yeah, I should know. Like hindsight, I should have played it up like I was gonna take you to the Thanksgiving parade or something like that. We were gonna travel to.
I would
Uh,
never, for the record, I do not want to go to New York City. That
fair.
is
No,
not on my
same,
bucket list. I have zero desire.
same. But yeah, so I bought tickets, not really knowing what to expect, but excited to be able to take you to your first game. And you know, obviously it hurts a little bit to also have to cheer for the Dolphins and wear Dolphins attire, but um, that's what we do for the people we love.
Okay, so I would like to back up for just a small second and just say this is Thanksgiving 2024.
Yes.
How long were the Lions a really bad football team?
Oh my gosh. I mean,
I'm
uh,
sorry, it's like 30 something years, yes?
yeah, I mean, since I've been a fan, like winning wise, record wise, we have
I know
not
you're
been
bad
good.
at math, but I just
Yeah.
wanted to tell you really quickly, it's like 30 years. So, what I do recall of 2024 is in 2023, the Lions were doing very well.
Dan Campbell came on and yeah, yeah, we were doing good.
And in 2024, there was a lot of talk about the Lions being good.
Hmm.
We live in the
We were good.
Midwest, and if we're gonna go to a football game, the convenient choices would be Chicago or Minneapolis.
Yep, for sure. Or Kansas City.
St. Louis doesn't have a team anymore, right?
No,
They're the Rams and they went out
they're
to
gone.
LA. So those are the real convenient choices. Yeah, I guess Kansas City. I
Kansas
didn't
City's
even
not
say
far.
them because I'm not doing that. But you know I like the Miami Dolphins. Could
Mhm.
you describe the weather for me, November in Iowa?
I mean, it's hit or miss, really. Like
Oh my
it's
god, it's
either
so hot. It's balmy. I mean, like,
sometimes it's nice. Like sometimes you get like a nice fall, where the 40s, 40s to 50s, or something like 0 and below. Like you get the opposite spectrum. There's no middle ground. It's either somewhat nice or
okay.
freezing ass cold.
We we like football. We are a football household. We attend Iowa Hawkeye football games at Kinnick Stadium with regularity. We're going
Hmm.
into our third season now with season tickets, and I never shy away from a home football game. I love it. I love the atmosphere. I love the weather. I don't love the weather, but I go anyway. I've been to some cold football games, and when you said, "I wanna get tickets to take you to the Dolphins," right? I've also been to Florida. We have been to Florida. Hard Rock Stadium is 12 miles from where we stay in Florida.
Yeah.
That would have been really nice. I'm actually very grateful. I would just like to stop and say I'm super grateful I did get to go see my team. But, like, you had the option of Hard Rock Stadium, Ford Field,
I
which is an
mean,
indoor stadium.
I didn't really have the option though because the schedule for the year is the schedule
Well,
for the year. So there wasn't
well,
really
we
an
could have
option
gone
to
to see the
go.
Lions.
We didn't play. Lions didn't play. I mean, I'm not going to take you to a Lions game. Lions didn't play the Dolphins that season. It's an anniversary present for you. I'm not going to take you
Okay,
along to
that's fair.
a Lions game.
I'll get fine. I'll give you credit. Thank you. So, this brings me to the next point, which is our very first football experience together. Well, not first together, but our first NFL game together. It's in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and it is Thanksgiving Day. And I mentioned we had season tickets to the Iowa Hawkeyes as well, which means we actually were gearing up for 48 hours, really intense 48 hours, because we were having to travel
Hmm.
to same day to the football game in Green Bay on Thanksgiving, a holiday, and then immediately turn around, drive home, and go to Kinnick Stadium the following day night for a night game against
Yeah.
Nebraska.
Yeah. It was a tight turnaround. It was leave, game, sleep, get up, game. I mean, it was
It is one of my most fun memories, honestly, football unrelated. I love the intensity of having to go to something like that. Super high energy, leaving, being pumped to go to the next super high energy end of season game against a great rival at Kinnick Stadium. So I will just say it is one of my most fun memories. I think we were underdressed for
yeah,
Lambeau.
100%. 100%ers. I mean, you don't know what to expect, right? Like, I mean, we know what it's like here. So we know, like, hey, it can get cold, but like, it was a different level. We were definitely underdressed. 100%.
So the only saving grace and I, like, don't even know that this necessarily counts so much as a saving grace, but we did stop at Total Wine& and More in
Mm,
Madison.
mhm.
Shout out right now to anybody who has never been to a Total Wine& and More. It is the Costco of alcohol. I mean, I don't know how else to
I
describe
don't
it.
know
I mean,
that they wanna
do you
be
remember
related in that, but
should I maybe I should do an episode about the first time I walked into a Total Wine and I mean, I sound like an alcoholic when I say it this way, but like, my jaw was on the floor of, "This place is huge."
it's solid. Yeah, it's like a grocery store back home. It's like a grocery store, but the only option is alcohol. It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's great.
Literally everything that they serve is a beverage, and, I mean, anything that you could think of. And I have nerded out, and I've shown this recently to a few people. I know how many Total Wine& and Mores there are between our house and the Brewers Stadium, and I have a spreadsheet about which ones have the best prices on the things that we like. So, shout out to Total Wine because, and I was saying this because we stopped there intentionally because we hadn't been to one in a minute, and
Mhm.
we bought $300 worth of alcohol on our way up with the intention of coming home and making old fashions. That plan probably still happened if I recall correctly. However, we maybe consumed some of the alcohol in an attempt to stay warm when we actually did get to Green Bay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I remember we bought beer, like, because we were gonna be like, "Oh, we're gonna tailgate before, and we're just gonna drink beer," and then it was so cold. Luckily, I think if I remember right, you were running to, like, Goodwill, like, you had stuff in the back of the car that was like, "We gotta get this to Goodwill." It's like kid stuff or whatever, and there was some sippy cups, like, back there. I remember it was so cold, we're like, "Oh, we're just gonna break out. We're just gonna drink this whiskey that we have
Well,
out of
so
sippy cups."
what had actually happened was normally I say I have to take stuff to Goodwill and it sits in my car for a really long time before I get it there. But I had actually taken the things to Goodwill and they told me they would not take anything that like a baby could sit on, eat out of,
Mm.
drink, whatever. Like they don't take strollers, sippy cups, plates, like diaper mats, all those things. And so I still had sippy cups in my car. And we bought Henry McKenna for our old fashions. And the problem was we bought them in like a Texas fifth. Like there's no, they were not like small bottles to take a pull off
No.
of. These are not shooters.
Right.
And so for those who have never been to Lambeau Field in Green Bay, it is just like a stadium that's been dropped in the middle of the most residential neighborhood you could ever imagine. And people are parking everywhere. And I say this now, and I don't know if you remember this, but I was worried about drinking out of this bottle and that people were going to judge me for like taking a pull off of this handle. But I think the people in the car next to us were doing like hard drugs. Do you remember this?
I do
It was like
I do
this
remember
young
this.
gentleman and like a
It
grandmother.
was it
I
was it
was
was
like,
a
did I just watch them do acid? Like,
I absolutely remember this. Yeah, I didn't remember it till you brought it up, but
holy
yeah,
shit. I kind
100%.
of
And
just
they did.
forgot that
They
until I
were.
brought it up.
Yeah, so we would have been like saints taking pulls off of, like, they wouldn't have even cared. Like, nobody would have, yeah,
So,
thought anything of it.
so we pour Henry McKenna into these sippy cups, pull the little filters off of them, which are like the stoppers, so your child doesn't like waterboard themselves when they're taking a drink out of a sippy cup. And we are two grown adults bundled up as best we can be, walking down a residential street towards the stadium, taking drinks out of a sippy cup. And we had only to this point had Henry McKenna in old fashions at
Mhm.
Pickle Palace here in Cedar Rapids. And this is when I learned just how smoky Henry McKenna actually is. It is not a take a shot bourbon.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's it's not like a drink it by itself, or
Mm-mm.
it's definitely
Mm.
mixing something. Put it in an old fashioned, put it
Yes.
in a whiskey, Coke, something. Yeah.
So we shoot some hard liquor. And then I don't even think we finished it because it was like I was choking that down. And I mean, I'm not a shots person anyway, but I do love bourbon on the rocks.
I
So
mean,
like I'm not a stranger to that.
we were moving pretty quick too. I mean, we were like
It was
walking
cold.
at a
It was cold.
we yeah.
And then we throw the sippy cup away
Mm.
as we get to the stadium because you can't take it in, right? I was just so in awe. I'm not going to lie to you. I was so in awe of how well organized like the tailgating atmosphere was. At that time, I don't think people know that we're the outsiders because we are so bundled up, but
Yeah.
I was so impressed with how organized it was, and it just I mean, they know what they're doing. Clearly they take that very seriously.
Yeah, for sure. For like, especially like you said, residential area was laid out and like the flow of it was really good. Yeah, I was also impressed for sure.
Now, because this podcast is about first time experiences, I will say the one thing that really threw me off was because I try to look things up before I go somewhere so that I
Mm.
can ease some of that anxiety. But I was not prepared for the stadium seating to be split up the way that it was. And it's all like all of the odd sections on the, west half of the stadium and all of the even numbered sections are on the east half of the stadium. That was weird.
That's got to be the only stadium like that, right? It was the only place I've ever been where it's been like that. Because we've
I
been to like
just
concert
don't
venues and like baseball field stadium, whatever you want to say. Like, I think that's the only one that's like that. But yeah, I don't know, 3 times more than we probably should have walked because I feel like we walked around one whole side looking for where our number was. We could find the letters, but numbers were like all the odds on one side, all the evens on one side. So yeah, it was weird. It was weird.
I'm not generally the type of person to shy away from asking someone for help or direction, but I think I definitely got in my own head about being the away fan and then having to be like, "Excuse me, can you help me find my seat?" That just definitely made me feel awkward and stressed, and so
Yeah.
that was one of the things I just didn't love about it, but I mean, I'm sure that the Wisconsin folks would have been nice. So then you got really great seats, way closer than I was expecting.
They were good. They were good.
They were good. Again, I don't know, we live in the Midwest, but as a Dolphins fan, one of my favorite traditions at Hard Rock is that the home team sits on the shaded side of
Mhm.
the stadium and the away team gets to sit under the sun. And there has sometimes been a 20-degree temperature difference on those two sides of the field. There was a 75-degree temperature difference from Hard Rock Stadium to Lambeau Field, and dolphins are warm water mammals, for those who don't know. I don't remember. Do you remember? Did we win or lose that game?
What? Remember? I mean,
I
you
blacked out.
you put up I guess, of some sort. You definitely didn't, though.
Warm water mammals did not perform very well in Lambeau in the cold, frigid temperatures. And here's the thing about that, though. I'm not, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not a quiet fan.
No.
I like sports.
Yeah.
I like to cheer. I like the excitement. I like to I don't wanna say heckle. I don't know if I've ever really gotten close enough to heckle any of the players. I'm definitely calling out, "You're underperforming." And I
Burn.
that that stadium was
Yeah.
really different.
Oh, it was weird. I mean, shout out to Lambeau. It's a beautiful stadium, absolutely gorgeous. But the vibe in there was just strange, man. Like, you mentioned we're big Hawkeye fans, so when you go to a Hawkeye game, it's intensity, intensity, intensity all the time. There's always cheering. It's always loud, whether you're on offense, whether you're on defense, it doesn't matter. Like there was an ebb and flow for sure to the like at the Packers Stadium, and they did not want you making noise when the Packers are on offense. It was like an everybody shut the hell up kind of scenario, and they would call you out. You saying you were calling out players for not performing. If you said some stuff or whatever, when the Packers were on offense, you heard about it for sure. The fans were,
I just think that that's so weird. I mean, they're yelling at each other to shut
yeah,
up.
that was weird. It was weird. It
I
really created this like super high energy, super low energy. It like
And they
weird
have
feeling.
the, like, decibel meter, right? When they're on defense and their fans are cheering, they would have, like, the decibel, like, whatever, which would made it weird for me that it would get so quiet, but being the outsider, the away team, you already feel weird, and now you feel weird because you're like, "Oh my god, I can't cheer for my team. Are the people around me going to be nice? Are they gonna be supportive?" I sat next to someone and it had said something like, "Oh, it's my first game," and I think that they were, like, perfectly polite, but just
Yeah.
to the limit that they needed to be. Mm.
Yeah, I mean, they
It
weren't
was just
throwing things at
Oh, yeah, correct, but they also weren't like, "Here's some hand warmers."
Right,
Like,
right. Yeah.
they're like, "Let your dorsal fin freeze." Like, that's basically how I felt about it. I would love to ask you, how did you decide to wear Detroit Lions apparel at a Miami Dolphins game at Green Bay?
NFC rivals, right? So I'm not gonna go in there in my Lions jersey for a game we're not even playing then, like, it's not Packers versus Lions. I'm not gonna just be the
That's
only person
called
in there in a Lions jersey.
there's a litany of things we could call that. Marking your territory, like, exerting dominance. Like, aren't lions, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Aren't they, like, alphas? Like, aren't they, like
Territorial predator, yeah, yeah.
no,
Yeah,
I
they are
mean,
male,
like,
yeah, male on
apex
the alphas, yeah.
predators. Oh my gosh, that's what I was
Apex, there
are
you go.
lions apex
Yeah, but
predators?
what is a packer? I mean, the lion's not, you can't really, like,
It's
you don't have to mark your
cheese.
territory for a packer,
It's
but
cheese.
ultimately, though, it really came down to, I knew
Clearly, you don't have the mentality of an apex predator. I woulda walked in there like, look at me, strut my stuff."
I wanted to support the things that you love and the team that you love. So I actually got a Dolphins jersey for, and yeah, I cheered for the Dolphins, wore a Dolphins jersey, and cheered for the Dolphins along with you.
That was really nice of you. I appreciate you doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll cheer for the Dolphins over the Packers any day. Sorry, but if you were a Packers fan, I would not have wore a Packers jersey to that game.
I, know a handful of Packers fans. They're all very nice, genuine, kind people. That's it. I don't wanna say anything else about them. I don't want to make them mad. I don't want any of them to retaliate against me in any way, shape, or form. All of the Packer fans I know are very nice, genuine people. And with that, let's move on. I really do appreciate you supporting my team that day. And we did not pull out the win, and that's okay. That kind of stuff happens, I guess, sometimes. And definitely attending something with someone else for the first time. I'd never been to Green Bay. Getting up there, that was new. You know, all of those experiences were brand new things for me. And having you there
Mm,
definitely made that easier because you're not doing it alone, which is nice. Let me come into our commit or cancel segment. And I say this every time, and I'm just going to keep saying it. This has become my favorite segment of this show. Originally, I did not have this in the show layout, and it just worked its way in. And I love it because sometimes some of the topics that I do get to talk about with people are not quite as fun as talking about NFL fans and smack talk and all those things between us. They're a little bit heavier. So, commit or cancel is a nice, quick little way to bring some levities to some of the topics and bring up that energy, if you will. Now, this is a rapid fire game where I'm going to ask you some questions, and your only option is to commit or cancel to the statement that I give you. So, commit or cancel to wearing an away jersey.
commit.
Commit or cancel to holiday travel to attend a game.
Mm, cancel.
It wasn't terrible. We did get to do some Black Friday shopping.
That's true. It wasn't terrible. The travel itself wasn't terrible, I guess. Yeah, commit. The travel wasn't bad.
Okay. Commit or cancel to picking your spouse's team to support.
Commit.
Okay. Oh, I love that. Thank you. I don't know that I would have chosen that. Commit or cancel to close seats over nosebleed.
Commit. Definitely close seats over nosebleed.
Okay. Commit or cancel to high fiving a stranger of the other team in celebration of your own team.
Commit. Oh, in celebration of your own team? Commit. Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
You're gonna
Not in
high five.
celebration of their team.
No, you're gonna high five the stranger sitting behind you, next to you, knowing that they're cheering for the other team.
Oh, no, no. If they're cheering for the opposite team, I'm not high-fiving them, but if they're I thought you were thinking, like, Green Bay Packers jersey, but you're high-fiving it for something your team did, is kinda how that came out. So
Yeah,
their
that's what I'm
team, no,
saying.
I'm
Like,
not high-fiving.
you're in the moment. Your team, let's talk Dan Campbell style. They're gonna convert on fourth down. Okay.
4th down, going for it, going
Okay.
for it, love it.
And they go for it and they get it.
Mhm.
And you're the away team and you've got a Lions jersey on and you're going to turn around and high five a Green Bay Packer fan.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, if they're gonna give me a high five, I'll yeah. Done.
You're offering it up. You're like, I'm
Yeah.
giving you a high because okay, okay. And then commit or cancel smack slash trash talking to the people around you.
Yeah, to the people around me, if I
Mhm.
don't know them, it's a cancel. If I know them, I will maybe give a little bit, but I'm not much of a smack talker or trash talker, so mostly cancel.
We did determine you are not an apex predator. So that
Fair.
feels appropriate. Well, I appreciate you being with me today. We've had some technical difficulties through this particular podcast. We have re recorded, we have done all the things. This has been a big learning experience, which is the point of this podcast and why it came to fruition, is because my goal here is to show people you can do new things, you can try new things. It might be awkward. And hopefully, because I've done it and been through it and I'm telling you about it, or my guest is telling you about it, it feels easier if and when you encounter that situation. So it's no longer feeling like a first time, it's feeling like a second time. So when we come and we talk about football or any real big sporting event and you want to go support your team in a place you've never been to, or you're supporting your spouse and the team that they love and support, how do you navigate through that? You might be thinking, I want to try something new, but I don't feel like I know enough about where I'm going, what I'm doing. Everyone else around me seems to really understand this except for me. Let me just tell you, welcome to being a sports fan. And it feels like every time is a new experience, is accept how you feel. It's okay. You're going to feel out of place. That's step one. It's going to feel a little bit uncomfortable, and that's okay. I mentioned, I don't know that I could ask an away fan for help. Ask the question anyway, even if you think it's obvious. People around you are probably going to be really nice unless you are smack talking them. And stop treating being new like it's embarrassing. It's okay. Nobody's an expert at something new. Kind of like this. My husband has said this to me numerous times as I've gotten through this podcast in the last few weeks. You're new. No one expects you to know everything. And at some point, every football fan was just as confused in person and wondering, why are they measuring with chains when we have Amazon stat that? Anyway, take the time, do the thing, go, enjoy the experience. And as it turns out, from being at Kinnick Stadium and being at Lambeau, football isn't always just about football. A lot of it is about community, ritual, overreacting in public, and pretending, if you're a Lions fan, this is finally our year. So,
It is 2026.
new experiences don't have to be scary. I hope that I help you make them feel like they're doable. Awkward is fine. We're doing it anyway. And I will see you next time. If this made you feel even slightly better about your own first time disasters, go follow First Time Energy.